Hi, this is a presentation from myself and Doreen. I'm very sorry I can't be there, so you'll have to put up with the virtual me. So this is a summary of what's gone on in Theme 4 and a general update on future stuff. This presentation is online, it's already shared with you, so I'm going to skim over most of the content because you can find it and look at it yourself. You'll find it's also got quite a lot of links within it, and you can find more stuff on my GitHub page, and I'm trying to find ways to summarize what I do more effectively. So, kicking off, project website. We've prepared a basic content, and we're looking at having a framework which can harvest content from different areas across the internet, basically to reduce the amount of workload and overhead on us. So as we put things in different places, this website will summarize this information content for us. There is a push to use the Nottingham CMS. I've looked at this in a number of different ways. We're going to run with it in the short term at a URL of lucas.nottingham.ac.uk. This should be going live soon. The nice thing about using the university CMS is that we can all get training through the university. The training course is 1 day, and any contributor needs to attend this. Data. I've set up a little Postgres database instance on a virtual machine. I've started to ingest a variety of different data, particularly for the Nottingham area for that. So we've looked at the Ordnance Survey data from Adena and then address-based premium also from the Ordnance Survey. And we're starting to build up a long-term relationship with the OS and currently waiting on a number of different data sets. So aerial photos, 4-band stereo, near infrared, some surface model and building height. We've also done some brainstorming on the Nottingham City Observatory. There's a link to that brainstorming here. We also need to look at the data requirements across each of the different projects. And I'm looking here at working with Urban Sim in the shorter term, and this is a theme I'll get back to in the future work area. In terms of this back-end database, we've also been looking at reproducing some of the Nottingham InSmart work. All of this is scripted and reproducible, including how we transform data and how we ingest data, so we can migrate this to a variety of different places. And this becomes a platform for how the data engineering elements of Lucas will work going on into the future. We've also built some automated derivatives based on things like building function, commercial domestic, building type, if it's a semi, is it a terrace, based upon the geometry, and we can do more work with that as time goes on. And this is an example of some of the output that we have. So this is a mixed terrace and semi development, but all of this terrace and semi identification, as you can see here from the coloration, has come directly from the building geometry, nowhere else. So this is something that we can scale across the whole of the UK. So it's a combination of the Ordnance Survey mapping and address-based premium. And likewise, this is putting it directly over Google Maps, and so you can see some more context here. Okay, so let's get back to full screen. Okay, we've also been looking at some of the potential infrastructure issues that are going to occur over the long term in terms of server availability, software, what we're going to do with code, what we're going to do with data and data repositories. So I'll go into those in a bit more detail. So in order to do this, I've been networking like a demon. And I've got connections across kind of library, IS, Horizon, the NGI, ADAC, anyone who deals with data, be it spatially or aspatially, well, probably not anyone and everyone. If you know more people who are very data focused within your networks, please do make a virtual introduction because these people will be invaluable. Also, as you're probably all aware, the university is preparing to meet its EPSRC responsibilities in terms of open data and data management. This is essential for natural extension of the open access publication proposals that have been around for the past few years. It has a plan to build an institutional repository. I would advise not using it. There's also ADAC data analytics. Again, I'll come back to that in a minute. One of the earliest things we were looking at was a collaborative environment. Soon the university will be migrating to Office 365. So you get the Office suite and you get OneDrive. OneDrive you can think of as Dropbox, but with steroids, because you should have a minimum of a terabyte, I believe, going up to something that's potentially unlimited. I was told when I first asked about this, it would be about 3 to 4 months for delivery. That means it should be now. So there needs to be a bit of a push on this, but this should resolve some of our informal data sharing and collaboration needs. We won't need to be banging around documents via email. From a repository point of view, i.e. a repository is a place where we store our data, the university is looking at DSpace with the possibility of Figshare. There's also a thing called Zenodo, which is a repository developed by CERN and supported by Horizon 2020. I think this is likely to be the best way forward. I've got a couple of links in here that give you a presentation and a document that I've written that describes some of the surrounding issues about putting data into repositories and licenses and stuff. So if you're interested in that, please do read. In terms of analytics, I've made our presence known to the analytics group, so we're part and parcel of those networks now, and I will be tapping into that as and when the need arises over the course of the project. And then I've been looking at kind of workflow environments and analytics platforms, and this is particularly for the data engineering element, and I see data engineering as separate to the data analysis. So what we're doing with the data side of things is actually producing data products that feed into the modeling of the social or the economic themes. But in order to do that, we need to transform that data from a variety of heterogeneous sources. So there is an engineering approach. Okay, in terms of best practice, it would be useful if we could start to put some of our research objects available in useful places under useful licenses, so that we can reuse them effectively. I've been using Wikimedia Commons, but it's probably going to be a good idea if I give a presentation about this on a Wednesday. So here's an example of a SQL joins image that I have on Wikimedia Commons. It has been reused a multitude of times. It's great. We've also done our PhDs, so we've done the first draft of those. Okay, next steps. Data. We're expecting this new data from the OS soon. The question is, what are we going to do with it? And we can do a variety of interesting things with it, but we need to also tie in interesting things that impact on the project. So I'm going to be guided initially by requirements in Urban Sim and the Mike Batty book, The New Science of Cities. Also going to look at some of the social data implications, and the ISO 37120 standard could be a good benchmark for this, but obviously happy to be led by both the social and economic themes. We need to get some brainstorming sorted out about the theme and intra-theme data requirements. This is tied into these issues we're having at the minute in terms of the semantics and modeling and the storming, norming, forming that's going on in terms of what it is a program's going to do and how these themes come together with that. The aim is to document and describe those modeling requirements, but we need to do it in a meaningful way. So the question now is when. In addition to that, need to become more proficient in Urban Sim, so understand those data requirements, which again feeds into the pass point, and potentially emulate this across Nottingham. Ontologies are likely to prove important, particularly when you're dealing with data from different environments. If you don't know what one is, I will probably give a talk about those again in the future, but there's a number of different ontologies around that are important for this program. Anyway, that's me done. Hopefully Dorian will be happy to field any questions. If not, I'll be back soon. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day.